Grace and peace, everyone. This is Charles here with another Midweek Recharge. And this week, I want to talk to you about my mother's legacy. Many of you sure have heard by now that last Saturday, after a lengthy fight with heart failure, my mother is resting in the arms of the Lord and passed on. Last Saturday, July 26th. And as I reflect on my mother's life and her legacy, one of the things that was immediately apparent to me as I'm preparing for her services and such next week was one of her favorite scriptures. I want to say it was her favorite, but there may be it might be like Psalm 23 was her actual favorite, and that Romans 12 and 1 and 2 was her number 2. But I'm pretty sure this was her favorite. It certainly was among her one or two favorites. And so in Paul's letter to the Romans, he says in chapter 12, verse 1 and 2, that he's appealing to them to present their bodies a living sacrifice, to be holy and acceptable, and I'm paraphrasing for expediency's sake, and that in order for your bodies to be holy and acceptable, your mind has to be made new, be changed for the better. Renewal there comes from the Hebrew word that means to be changed for the better. And so Paul's point here was that as new converts, that's who Paul was writing to, former believers and the Roman pantheon of gods, to now being new believers in the one God, that their minds had to be made new. And that when their minds were made new, their bodies, everything else would come with it. That for Mom, this was about developing a relationship with Jesus for yourself. And part of that was navigating the balance of living in the world, but not being identified as a member of the world, living in the world, but not of the world. And so my challenge for you this week is to help me to bring attention, to help me fulfill my mother's legacy. If you don't have your own relationship with Jesus, I encourage you to explore that, to change your mind, and as a result, change your life, to allow the Spirit of the Lord Jesus to enter your heart and enter your mind and change your way of thinking, and ultimately change your way of being. Let that be your recharge.